The greatest pleasure is doing something that everybody says is impossible and could not be done. For it is in that moment, when the doubters fall silent, that a man discovers the true measure of himself, not in comfort, not in the approval of the crowd, but in the quiet triumph of proving that limits exist only in the imagination of the timid. History has never remembered the voices that said, "It cannot be done." Those voices vanish with the wind, forgotten as though they never existed. What remains, what shines across centuries, are the names of those who refused to listen, those who turned impossibility into reality. Every great achievement you see around you, every monument, every bridge, every discovery was once labeled foolish, reckless, or beyond reach. And yet, some man or woman rose from the crowd and said, "I will try." There is a peculiar truth about mankind. We are always surrounded by people quick to remind us of our limits. They speak of danger, of difficulty, of failure. They weigh dreams with the stones of caution until they sink beneath the river of doubt. But there exists another breed of person, rare, unyielding, who hears the word impossible not as a warning, but as an invitation. To them, impossibility is not a wall but a challenge, not the end of a road, but the beginning of one. Look back upon the centuries. There were men who believed the oceans stretched endlessly, swallowing any ship daring to cross. And yet one day, a voyager sailed past the horizon and new worlds appeared. There were voices declaring that man was meant to crawl on the earth, never to fly. Yet in time, two brothers at Kitty Hawk lifted into the sky, and the world was forever changed. The doubters laughed at them until the day came when the laughter fell silent beneath the roar of engines. It is in the character of progress to be ridiculed before it is revered. The first spark of electricity was considered madness. The first machines were scorned as threats. The first dreamers were mocked as fools. But the world we live in today is built upon the shoulders of those very fools, those who dared, those who would not accept the boundaries drawn for them. And so I say to you, what is impossible? Who decides? Is it the neighbor across the street? Is it the professor in a classroom? Is it the man at the factory or the merchant at the shop? No, my friends, only you decide, and the moment you take the step forward against the tide of doubt, against the laughter of the crowd, you begin to carve a path that belongs to no one else but you. For the greatest victories are not measured in applause or medals. They are measured in the quiet satisfaction of knowing you stood when others bowed, you moved when others froze, and you dared when others trembled. The world belongs to those who attempt what others call impossible. And though the path is steep, though it is lonely, though it is littered with the wreckage of those who gave up, the summit belongs to the man who does not quit. There is a fire within every human soul. Some smother it with fear, others bury it beneath routine, but a few, just a few, fan it into a blaze that lights the way for generations. That fire is courage. That fire is vision. That fire is the refusal to bow to impossibility. What is it in your life that you have been told cannot be done? What dream lies locked away because others could not see it? What mountain have you left unclimbed because the world told you the air was too thin? Let this be the hour you awaken the fire within you. For the greatest pleasure you will ever know is not in comfort, not in ease, but in doing that which they swore could never be done. And when you rise to that challenge, when you stand against the tide, when you silence the doubts, yours and theirs, you will discover a truth as old as mankind itself, that impossibility is only the mask worn by greatness before it is revealed. The nature of doubt and the courage to stand alone. Wherever men have gathered, doubt has always had a voice. It is the voice that whispers in the marketplace, that murmurs around the dinner table, that echoes in the workshop and in the halls of learning. It cannot be done. It has never been done. It must not be attempted. This voice of the crowd has existed since the dawn of civilization. When the first man struck flint against stone to summon fire, others likely stood around shaking their heads saying, "It is dangerous, it is foolish, it is impossible." And yet, when the spark caught and flames leapt into the night sky, the doubters' voices vanished in the crackle of triumph. The crowd has always been cautious. It is bound by custom, tied down by habit, and anchored to what has already been proven safe. And so it declares that new attempts are madness, new dreams are folly, and new horizons are beyond reach. Why? Because the crowd lives for comfort. The crowd fears the unknown. The crowd would rather mock than dare, would rather laugh than risk, would rather remain than rise. But every so often there emerges an individual who refuses to bow to the collective voice of doubt. This man or woman looks at the horizon and sees not danger, but possibility. While others remain rooted, he takes the first step. And that first step is not merely forward, it is upward, it is outward, it is beyond. To stand alone in the face of doubt requires more courage than to fight 1,000 battles. For when you stand against the enemy, you know your foe. But when you stand against the crowd, you face a sea of familiar faces, neighbors, friends, even family, each insisting that you are wrong, that your path is foolish, that your dream will collapse. And those who achieve the impossible do not draw their strength from the approval of the multitude. They draw it from an inner conviction that the impossible is nothing more than an unopened door. It is easy to move with the crowd, to walk where others walk, to think as others think. But there is no greatness there. There is safety, yes, but safety is the cradle of mediocrity. To step away, to walk alone into the wilderness of doubt, that is the birthplace of discovery. The greatest progress mankind has ever made came not when the many agreed, but when the one refused to yield. The inventions that changed our lives, the voyages that reshaped our maps, the discoveries that opened the heavens, each began with one solitary figure daring to contradict the voices of the world. And so, if you wish to know the measure of your courage, ask yourself, can I endure the laughter? Can I withstand the doubt? Can I press forward even when the voices of those I love tell me to turn back? For courage is not found in the absence of opposition. It is found in the decision to march on, though the road is empty, though the crowd jeers, though the night is long. The crowd will never lift you higher than its own shoulders. To rise above, you must climb alone, and once you do, once you stand upon that peak, the very voices that once ridiculed you will be the first to say, "We always knew it could be done." Such is the way of the world. Therefore, do not measure your dream by the size of the applause it receives. Measure it by the resistance it faces. For resistance is the surest sign that you are walking where no one has walked before. And in that lonely path, though the voices of doubt may surround you, there lies the gateway to the impossible. The law of progress, ridicule before reverence. There is a law as old as mankind itself, a law unbroken across centuries and civilizations. Every great idea is first ridiculed before it is revered. When the first man spoke of sailing across oceans, his companions laughed and called him a dreamer. When the first physician suggested that invisible forces caused disease, the learned men of his day scorned him. When the first machines were built to harness steam, the world called them toys and gimmicks. And yet, the laughter of yesterday has built the world of today. Ridicule is the toll every pioneer must pay to walk the road of progress. The crowd does not understand what it cannot see, and it fears what it cannot measure. To protect itself, it mocks, it laughs, it points a finger and declares, "This is madness." But history has shown us that every jeer, every insult, every mocking word is but the shadow that precedes the dawn of greatness. People mock what they secretly admire, but do not possess the courage to attempt. The laughter of the crowd is nothing more than the sound of fear disguised as humor. They laugh because deep within them, They know they would not dare what you are daring. They would not climb where you are climbing. They would not risk what you are risking. And so they laugh, to cover the silence of their own hesitation. Will you let the laughter stop you? Or will you walk on, knowing that the very voices which ridicule you today will one day repeat your name with reverence? Every statue standing in our city squares, every invention we hold in our hands, every idea we call common today, once bore the weight of ridicule. Men of vision were called fools, liars, and lunatics. Their names were dragged through mud, their ideas dismissed as fantasy. But those who endured long enough saw their ridicule transformed into reverence. For once a man achieves the impossible, the crowd quickly changes its song. Yesterday's fool becomes today's genius. Yesterday's dream becomes today's reality. Ridicule is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of progress. If the world laughs, it means you have stepped beyond its narrow boundaries. If they mock, it means you have stirred something they do not understand. So do not fear ridicule. Welcome it. Wear it as a crown. For ridicule is proof that you are building what others cannot yet see. And when the day comes that your dream takes form, when the bridge stands, when the machine runs, when the idea breathes, the very laughter that once rang in your ears will be replaced with silence, and then with applause. Thus it is written into the fabric of progress. First they mock you, then they doubt you, then they resist you, and finally, they honor you. The inner battlefield, conquering the self. The greatest struggle a man will ever face is not with the world outside him, but with the world within him. Armies may be resisted, storms may be endured, enemies may be overcome, but the battle within a man's own heart is the fiercest of all. For it is not the crowd's laughter that defeats most men, but the quiet whisper in their own minds. Perhaps they are right. Perhaps I cannot do it. The world may place obstacles in your path, but it is your own doubts that build the tallest walls. A man who conquers himself, his fear, his hesitation, his weakness, is mightier than the man who conquers a nation. Each of us carries within a voice of doubt. It does not shout. It whispers. It whispers when you rise in the morning. Stay in your bed. The day is too heavy. It whispers when you begin a task. This is too difficult. You are not strong enough. It whispers when you dream. This is foolish. Leave it to others. And too many, far too many, obey that voice. They surrender before the battle even begins. But those who achieve the impossible have learned a secret. That voice can be silenced, not once and for all, but each day, each hour, each moment of decision. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the mastery of fear. Strength is not found in the lack of weakness. It is found in refusing to bow to weakness. Athlete who trains alone before dawn. There is no applause, no music, no cheering crowd, only the weight of his own reluctance. Each morning, he conquers not the track nor the field, but himself. Or the scholar, bent over books by candlelight, fighting not against rivals, but against fatigue and discouragement. The world sees only the triumph, but the true victory was won in those unseen hours of private struggle. So it is with every man who dares the impossible. The first and greatest conquest is inward. You must chain your doubts, discipline your mind, and command your spirit to stand when your body cries for retreat. Without that, no dream can be built, no mountain climbed, no ocean crossed. The world can never defeat a man who has conquered himself. You may stumble, you may fall, you may be struck down by circumstance, but if your will remains unbroken, you will rise again. And each time you rise, the world loses its power over you. Dreams and discipline, the blueprint of tomorrow. Every great achievement begins first as a dream, a vision in the mind of one who dares to imagine life not as it is, but as it could be. The bridge across the river was once only a thought in the mind of an engineer. The cure for disease was once only a vision in the heart of a physician. The cathedral, the ship, the discovery, each was first nothing more than a spark within the unseen chambers of the imagination. But a dream, however noble, is only the seed. Without discipline, it withers in the soil of good intentions. For imagination opens the door, but only discipline walks through it. The dreamer who refuses the labor of discipline is no more than a child chasing shadows. Yet the one who weds his dream to daily effort, to order, to patience, he alone shapes tomorrow. Discipline is the bridge between vision and reality. It is the steady hand that lays one stone upon another day after day until the cathedral stands. It is the patient pen scratching line after line until the book is complete. It is the craftsman repeating his motions until his skill is sharpened into mastery. The world remembers the finished achievement, but it is discipline that carries the invisible weight of every triumph. Without it, no dream has ever been realized. With it, even the wildest vision can take form and stand against the test of time. And do not think discipline is a harsh master. Though it demands sacrifice, it rewards with freedom. The man who submits himself to discipline is not chained. He is liberated. He rises each morning not at the mercy of chance, but with the certainty that his steps, however small, are building towards something greater. He wastes no hour. He squanders no gift. He leaves behind no regret. Dreams give a man direction. Discipline gives him motion. Without direction, motion is meaningless. Without motion, direction is powerless. Together, they are the blueprint of tomorrow. So guard your dream, for it is the seed of your destiny. But do more than guard it. Cultivate it. Feed it with discipline. Water it with persistence. Shield it with patience. For the dream without discipline is a song never sung, a ship never launched, a fire never kindled. But the dream with discipline becomes the very thing that others will one day call impossible until you prove it otherwise. The price of persistence and the reward of endurance. Every man admires greatness when he sees it, but few are willing to pay the price it demands. For greatness is not purchased with comfort, nor bought with ease. It is paid for in sweat, in sacrifice, and in long, lonely hours of persistence. The world often mistakes talent for triumph, as though men achieve the impossible because of some rare gift bestowed at birth. But talent alone is never enough. The earth is filled with the bones of talented men who quit when the road grew steep. Talent may open the door, but only persistence carries a man across the threshold. Persistence is the willingness to rise when the body pleads for rest, to advance when the path is blocked, to endure when all seems lost. It is the refusal to retreat, even when victory appears distant. And it is persistence, not brilliance, not luck, that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Stonecutter who strikes the rock 100 times with no visible crack. On the 101st strike, the stone splits open. Was it that single blow that broke the rock? No. It was the 100 that came before, each one unseen, each one unheralded, each one necessary. So it is with persistence. Each effort, each attempt, each failure endured builds toward the moment of triumph. Endurance is its companion. To persist without endurance is to burn quickly and fade. But to endure, to weather disappointment, to survive criticism, to outlast despair, that is the mark of true greatness. The race is rarely won by the swift, but by the one who refuses to stop running. And though the price of persistence is high, the reward is beyond measure. For when the summit is reached, the weary traveler does not remember the pain of the climb. He remembers only the view from above. The sacrifices, the nights of toil, the scars of the journey, all melt away in the quiet glory of having endured. There is a joy known only to those who persist, a satisfaction that cannot be bought nor borrowed. It is the knowledge that you stood the test, that you refused to yield, that you pressed on until the impossible bent before your will. So if you would achieve the extraordinary, prepare to pay the price. Persist when others give up, endure when others fall away, and when the years have passed and your work stands firm, the world will see not the struggle, but the victory, and you will know that the reward of endurance was worth every step of the climb. Joining the eternal chain of dreamers. Every generation has its dreamers, men and women who refuse to be bound by the word impossible. They were not always the strongest, nor the wisest, nor the most celebrated in their time. Yet they carried within them a fire that no ridicule could quench, no failure could extinguish, and because they dared, the world moved forward. Each great achievement we now take for granted was once an untested dream carried in the heart of a solitary figure. The bridges that span our rivers, the engines that drive our machines, the knowledge that cures disease, all of it is the gift of those who joined this eternal chain of dreamers. They stood in their time as you stand now, faced with doubt, opposed by fear, yet unwilling to bow. You too are called to join that chain, not by repeating what has already been done, but by daring to reach beyond it. Your life is not meant to be a mere echo of others, it is meant to be a voice of its own. And when you choose to pursue what others call impossible, you do more than lift yourself. You lift all who will come after you. For progress is not the work of the many, but of the few. The world moves forward because, in each age, a handful of men and women refuse to let the fire die. And if you accept that call, if you endure, if you persist, if you dare, you will stand among them. Perhaps the world will not know your name, but the mark of your courage will ripple across time, shaping lives you will never meet. So step forward, take your place, join the chain, for the torch of progress is never dropped, it is passed, and now it is offered to you. So the word impossible has never belonged to the dreamer, but only to the doubter. It is the language of hesitation, not of hope. Every step forward in history has been made by men and women who refuse to bow to that word. And now, the challenge stands before you. What will you do with your life? Will you let fear dictate the borders of your destiny? Or will you rise as others once rose, to prove that limits are illusions and that courage is stronger than doubt? The greatest pleasure a man can ever know is to accomplish what others swore could not be done. For in that moment he discovers not only the measure of his strength, but the meaning of his existence. So go, begin, dare. Do the thing they say cannot be done, and when you do, the world itself will rise to meet you.